The Witcher 4 finally got revealed. The Game Awards truly felt like a movie. Dude, I was expecting us to get a trailer at the event, but I was not expecting to get a 6-minute movie. Guys, we finally have The Witcher 4. We're in that era. Ciri is the main protagonist. Geralt of Rivia is going to be returning in the game. We know that for a fact. And the developers at CD Projekt Red actually sat down for a few interviews that we're going to go over in this video. And the game director, Sebastian Kalemba, sat down and gave us a full breakdown of the cinematic reveal. We have a lot to cover, guys. I'll be geeking about The Witcher 4, so check the video chapters for easy viewing, and let's go ahead and get started. So as we all saw from the cinematic reveal, Ciri is going to be the new lead of the new Witcher saga, which, let's be honest, that was expected. We finally have confirmation that Ciri's Witcher ending is the canon ending, unless it's explained otherwise. Like, I guess she could probably become the Empress for a short time and then realize, hey, I don't want this life, so I'm gonna go off and do Witcher stuff. Now, another big reveal that we got during the cinematic trailer is Ciri is no longer Witcher in name alone. It's clear that she has gone through the trial of the grasses, or the trial of the herbs, as she is now a fully mutated Witcher. She's went through the mutagen process, so she's able to drink potions without, dying. Now, there has been some rumblings on social media from, the usual crowd, but there also has been some genuine concerns from genuine Witcher fans who are like, how is this even possible that Cirilla was able to make it through the trial of the grasses without dying? Well, I'll say this right now. Ciri is a time-traveling goddess that has elder blood in her veins. You don't think Ciri can survive the trial of the grasses?
I found this on the web.
Okay, I'm not talking about you, my phone on the desk. Can I just talk about The Witcher, please? It's like you go off every 5 minutes. Let me just get to the point. Okay, so Ciri is a time-traveling goddess that has elder blood in her veins. So she's not just a normal, ordinary woman that would not be able to survive the trial of the grasses. The mortality rate of females undergoing the trial of the herbs is 100%, but it's not good for males as well. Now, it's also worth mentioning in the book, Sapkowski never really even considered it being an option. The books never said that Witchers can't be women. Like in the book, I believe there was a section where Ciri was eating and drinking like herbs and other concoctions for the training building up to the trial of the grasses. But I believe Geralt even asked Triss why it mattered that she was a girl when Triss was protesting, and she even thought that Ciri might have been the first girl to ever been fed the herbs and other concoctions to prepare for the trial of the grasses. I think the reality is I think people are just kind of jumping the gun a bit. Like, what if there's this giant piece of media that we've all been waiting for years for that will explain any of this information? Wait a minute, I've got it. What if they made a video game, and in the narrative, like maybe at the very start of the game, I don't know, perhaps they show Ciri undergoing the trial of the grasses and surviving? That'd be a wild concept, wouldn't it? Like, that right there would be a great intro to the game. Like, you've got this character named Ciri, who is this time traveling goddess that can teleport. The gameplay in The Witcher 3 is just so OP, and you're like, how do I make this interesting? Well, maybe you put her through the trial of the grasses, and yes, she survives, but at what cost? Perhaps maybe she gets nerfed a bit. That way, whenever we play The Witcher 4, we're not this OP character. We actually have something to work towards, a progression system. I know hardcore fans know this, but I don't think people realize how OP Ciri actually is. Like, her becoming a Witcher is literally a nerf, bro. And another thing that I'll talk about, but I won't go too much in detail just because I don't think the people who are actually complaining about this are real gamers. I don't think that they're Witcher fans. I think there's just this subset of group of gamers that just don't really play games. They just complain about the games. But there was some criticism about how Ciri looked in the Witcher 4 reveal, and I'll say this right here. One, what are you expecting, bro? For one thing, Ciri has gotten older. She's probably about 8 to 10 years older. And two, this is just a cinematic reveal trailer. Like, look at what Geralt looked like back in the day in the cinematic reveal versus how he looks in game. Granted, this is an Unreal Engine cinematic, so I think gameplay wise, she will look similar to what she looks like in the cinematic, but you gotta understand, they're still developing the game. They're probably gonna make her look better. Like some of the earlier cinematics and gameplay that we got for The Witcher 3 versus how the game looks now, it's just a 9-day difference. And another thing, she is a literal Witcher, bro. She's a monster hunter for hire. She's not playing dressed to impress. She's killing monsters. Also, what are your expectations of beauty? Like, what do you expect from a monster hunter? It's actually such a wild non-issue. But the last thing I'll talk about when it comes to Ciri as the main protagonist and the new Witcher are the concerns that The Witcher 4 is breaking canon and it's breaking the established lore, to which I will say this. Y'all played The Witcher 1, 2, and 3, right? You realize that those games aren't canon and they do break the established lore of the books. If the games just took took the books and made them into a game, the experiences we had would be wildly different. To win this segment, I'll say this right here. In the words of the legendary Brandon Sanderson, err on the side of awesome. Give the game a chance. Don't be so judgmental about just a cinematic reveal. Wait until there's gameplay, and if you're not vibing with the gameplay, then just don't buy it. So to segue to the next topic, we have some details regarding The Witcher 4 from a new article from IGN, where they sat down with Sebastian Kalimba, the game director with The Witcher 4, as well as other developers. So it starts off with Sebastian saying, since I can remember, we've been talking about Ciri and how much she deserves her own journey. And last we saw Ciri, she was a young woman facing her destiny, but now, as depicted in the new cinematic trailer, following the events of The Witcher 3, Ciri has undertaken the famously painful Trial of the Grasses, which has mutated her into a powerful and resilient warrior, and she's ready to take on a whole new journey in The Witcher 4, which is the first part of a planned trilogy of single-player open-world RPGs. Sebastian Kalimba said, I love this grit in her. She's almost obsessed with the way she lives. There are some moments where you have to go with your heart instead of always going with the calculated calls, and this is what I love in Ciri. She's less calculating, following her heart, her passion, and her gut feel. They continued with saying it's this passion that will differentiate Ciri from Geralt, and subsequently The Witcher 4 from its predecessors. Quote, we want to let players try to define her. Unlike Geralt, who has been a veteran monster hunter for the entire Witcher saga, Ciri is only just starting her career. That means there's space for players to create their own version of her. She's about to form her own codex on her own terms. The way she actually deals with monsters, the way she deals with quests, the adventures, it's her own unique way. They continue with saying the shape of Ciri and her codex will be dictated by decisions both big and small. We see an example of such during the trailer, in which Ciri's interruption of a dark ritual results in the death of a girl she's attempting to save. It's a classic example of the studio's signature approach to choice and unforeseen consequences, but Kalimba promises a deeper approach for this fourth chapter. He said this, and I quote, we want to put player agency at the center. Achieving such has required an expansion of the evolution of the Witcher's definition of player choice. We're giving more tools for the player's disposal to be able to not only go play with the consequences narratively, but also gameplay wise. And we want to be able to give players more opportunities to be able to feel that they define their experience. Sebastian then said, I believe that the gameplay in Cyberpunk 2077 was more varied than The Witcher 3, and it allowed for more freedom when it comes to creating character builds and being able to experience encounters in your own way. Every encounter in Cyberpunk 2077's Night City is a flowchart of decisions. Action or stealth, hacking or weapons, ranged or melee. Those options are extended and enhanced by the skills and perks you're invested in. And so for Ciri's next adventure, the studio is not only looking to build upon what it achieved with The Witcher 3, but also Cyberpunk 2077 and Phantom Liberty. Sebastian said, this is something we definitely want to bring as a lesson. We want to improve on The Witcher 3's gameplay, but we also want to improve the alignment of the way you will be able to explore the world. And he hopes that such improvements will result in a super coherent experience across the main story missions, side quests, and open world activities. We then have another developer who said this, the one complication is probably the idea that there is an ending in which Ciri can die in The Witcher 3. The dev said, thankfully that ending, which is one of 3 different fates for Ciri and the outcome of several hidden choices made throughout the game, isn't quite as clear cut as it may seem. The dev said that there are hints in that ending that highlight the fact that she probably doesn't die, and so regardless of the events you personally witnessed, at the end of your own Witcher 3 playthrough, the sequel does not break any canon or offend any canon. So next up, we have full confirmation that Geralt of Rivia will be in The Witcher 4. In another IGN article, they said this, the trailer makes it pretty clear that Ciri is the protagonist of the new Witcher saga, but, and spoilers for the previous game here, Geralt does not die at the end of The Witcher 3, so can we expect the original hero of the story to make an appearance in The Witcher 4? To which Kian Mar, I think that's how you pronounce it, or Cian Mar, says this, Geralt will probably be around for a long time. In the prequel novel, Seasons of Storms, there is an epilogue. It takes place in Magpie Forest in 1373, 101 years after The Witcher 3, and in that epilogue, there is a certain white-haired witcher hunting a monster who remains unnamed, but who behaves in a certain way, and obviously he has white hair. I think we could expect Geralt to be around for a long time. The capacity in which he does, we'll see, but I don't think he's going anywhere. So yeah, Geralt of Rivia will be in The Witcher 4. We also got Doug Cockle, the voice of Geralt of Rivia, at the end of the cinematic trailer. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but yeah, the legend Doug Cockle has returned to voice Geralt, and he's gonna be in The Witcher 4, which is really exciting. Now, to what extent, I don't really know. Maybe he's gonna take like a Vesemir type role. Perhaps we'll get lucky enough where we get to fight alongside Geralt of Rivia. Who knows? But it is really exciting that Geralt of Rivia will be in The Witcher 4. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the actual release date and release window. We got The Witcher 4 revealed in 2024. We know that the development cycle will last around 6 to 8 years. We're not really sure when pre-production started, but but we can assume it started probably sometime around after Cyberpunk 2077 officially released, which was in 2020. So we've already got 4 years out of the way. The max that we're going to have to wait is probably another 4 years, but it could be as little as 2 years away. That's why I'm saying I think that we're going to get the release sometime in 2026 or 2027. But that's going to wrap it up with this video, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Like the video, subscribe with your notifications turned on, and until next time, this has been Wes, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.